The current situation is the culmination of an 8-week conflict that began on February 28, 2026, when US and Israeli forces launched a series of high-precision strikes across Iran. Following the assassination of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei during that initial wave, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC) retaliated by effectively closing the Strait of Hormuz, mining the waters and boarding commercial vessels. This triggered a counter-response from the Trump administration on April 13, a full-scale naval blockade of Iranian ports. This dual blockade has paralyzed nearly 25% of global seaborne oil trade, driving Brent crude to a volatile $108 per barrel and creating a worldwide energy crunch that has placed immense domestic pressure on the White House.
Over the weekend of April 25-26, Tehran, utilizing Pakistan as a high-level intermediary, delivered a formal written proposal to Washington. The framework, often referred to as the Islamabad draft, suggests a phased de-escalation. The concession: Iran offers the complete, immediate and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz to all international shipping. The demand: in exchange, the US must lift its naval blockade of Iranian ports and end the economic fury sanctions regime that has caused over $145 billion in economic damage to Iran since February. The sticking point: crucially, the proposal seeks to separate or shelve the nuclear issue, suggesting that talks regarding uranium enrichment and missile programs be handled in a separate later phase once the immediate military hostilities have ceased.
Despite the economic relief a reopened strait would provide, President Trump has signaled he is not satisfied with the current terms. Following a high-level National Security Council meeting on Monday, April 27, White House officials clarified that the administration's red lines remain non-negotiable. Trump's dissatisfaction stems from the refusal to integrate a total nuclear freeze into the immediate ceasefire. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has doubled down on the zero enrichment policy, arguing that allowing Iran to reopen its ports without first surrendering its highly enriched uranium, or HEU, would be a strategic failure. The US position is that the nuclear program is the primary driver of the conflict and cannot be sidelined for a temporary maritime fix.
The rejection of the proposal has accelerated a diplomatic shift toward Moscow. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi's recent visit to St. Petersburg to meet with Vladimir Putin highlights a burgeoning strategic partnership. Iran is increasingly looking to Russia and certain ASEAN nations to create an alternative energy corridor that bypasses US-monitored routes. Meanwhile, Russia has praised the depth and strength of its ties with Tehran, suggesting that if the US does not accept the current proposal, Moscow may provide more than just diplomatic support, potentially offering military or technical assistance to help Iran weather the blockade.
The human and financial toll of the Ramadan war is staggering. Revised reports from the February 28 strike on a school in Minab have confirmed 155 deaths, including 120 children, which has become a focal point for anti-Western sentiment in the region. Economically, the stalemate is pushing the global economy toward a recession. While the ceasefire brokered by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on April 8 remains technically in place, it is fragile. Trump has threatened to target Iranian power plants and bridges if a real agreement isn't reached soon, while the US continues to deploy Marines and airborne units to the region. The standoff now centers on whether Trump will prioritize lowering global fuel prices or stick to his unconditional surrender mandate for Iran's nuclear program.